Sandra, Tom Hitchcock, what is it, Tuesday? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, you've got an accent. I'm looking at the surname. There's a Spanish undertone there. Where are you from?
I'm French.
Oh, blimey, that's terrible. That's terrible. How did I get that so wrong? Okay, fair enough. Where are you based?
So many people get it wrong, to be honest, with my name, and my accent is a bit of I've been in Australia for a while, so.
You know what? You're clear as day French now. I can hear it, and I should never have guessed anything different. It's the name that put me out. What is that's not a typical French name.
No, it's Spanish actually. So you were spot on.
There we are. All right. So the name influenced her, and I validated your voice differently because of the
100%.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we are. And whereabouts in the world do you reside?
I live in Sydney.
There we are. Lovely. And
where are you?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, where are you?
Sydney too. Sydney as well. Yes. Yeah. Enjoying some late sunshine. It's nice out there at the moment. Not too hot. Just right, I think.
That's perfect.
How long have you been in Australia for?
13 years, almost 14 years.
Okay. Same. I'm 13, nearly 14. But I arrived the weekend of the Queen's birthday.
Okay. Yes. I arrived in Jan.
Yeah. So you checked it out before me.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this case, the French got here before the British. Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's the other way around, back in historical terms. Actually, do you know the story behind when the French and the British arrived here around the specific suburb Neutral Bay?
Really?
Do you know it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, so I'll tell you this. So I think I've actually mentioned this on another podcast. So sorry to the listeners if I'm repeating myself. So obviously the British were here. They landed and stuck the flag in and did what they did. The French arrived shortly after. Okay. And obviously the job was already done. But the problem is the French and the British were currently at war. So they had to honour their war agreement, if you like. Obviously the French didn't want the war, neither did the British really. So what they did is they said, right, you can anchor your ships on the other side of the estuary, if you like. Okay, which is what the North Shore is. We'll create an area where we surround you with cannons. Okay, you can't leave that area, but that particular area is neutral. Okay, so we're not at war as long as you stay within there. You're not at war, hence Neutral Bay. And around the area had crow's nests as well. And what they did, all the ships, they replenished their stock, fixed them up, and got all the food and that for the trip back home. So that's where the area got its name from.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Every day is a school day. Thank you, Tom.
That's all right. Yes, teacher Tom. Good efforts. All that. Anyway, all right. That's my fact of the day done. Tell us a bit more about yourself, Sandra.
So more about myself. French arrived in Australia 13 years ago. Mom of two beautiful young little girls. So busy working woman, trying to juggle being the best mom, the best wife, the best myself, the best therapist. I changed career about 6 years ago. I used to work in sales in IT. Okay. And as much as I loved selling and I loved my customers, I didn't like IT. I was not interested about IT. And so I changed career, long story short, but I did a massive 360 and became a therapist, a hypnotherapist. I did that after have done a therapy myself using hypnotherapy. It really, really changed my life, my outlook on life. And I chose to help and support people who needed it because it really changed me. So, here I am today. Sydney, mom, therapist. Love it.
There we are. I can get your kids to clean up their room then with a bit of hypnotism.
Or to fall asleep.
Yes. So you're picking a topic which I align to because I also trained to be a hypnotherapist as well. Okay, I'm not practicing or anything else like that. But what I found interesting, it's interesting. See, you talk about 360 here, and kudos to anybody who does find their passion in life and just think, you know what, I'm just completely turning this upside down and giving it a go, because that's essentially a risk, and a lot of time and effort, money goes into doing it as well.
Yeah.
But what I did find when I was learning hypnotism, okay, and essentially subconscious suggestion, okay, is there's so much that aligns with the mechanics of sales that I almost felt like I was in a sales workshop, for example, some of the time. So, hold on a minute, this, you know, and I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know how in depth your sales knowledge was, but did you find similarities yourself?
Absolutely. Especially when so I'm also a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming, and neurolinguistic programming, hypnotherapy, like hypnosis and sales, is just very similar. The command that you give, the tone that you're going to use in sales, the way you structure your sentences, the way you are going to use the word imagine. So the person is already imagining themselves in the future when all the problems have cleared, that whatever you want to sell, it's actually pretty powerful. So yeah, it's I'm actually looking at creating workshops for corporates, because there's just golden nuggets in neurolinguistic programming that we can share with salespeople to just enhance their sales skills without the boringness of, like sales training. Sometimes it's like, how do you position yourself, the gesture, the way you look at someone, the way you're going to mirror someone, how you talk, the tone. And it's just fascinating.
It is fascinating as well. And again, you pick another chord of mine, because I did the neuro change practitioner, and my focus on that was neuroplasticity. That was my area what I love to tinker around with. And I did toy around with, because neuroplasticity is a very individual thing. Is you're going deep inside yourself to make these changes, make long lasting new habits, and shift to beliefs and that as well in some respects. But then when you try to look at it at an organizational level, it's a different beast. And it's a little bit more, actually a little bit, it's a lot more complex. Okay. But the underlying principles of it do align with sales. They do align with wellness. They align with performance, so maybe if I have more time, I'll tinker around with it some more, but it's, I would agree there's probably a gap in the market.
Oh, 100%. And also, as you were saying, because when you do hypnosis, you are unconsciously changing beliefs and belief systems. And as a salesperson, if your belief system is towards negative expectancy, that's what you're going to create. If your belief system is towards positive expectancy and that you are going to make it work, or, like whatever we believe in is going to create our reality. And in the sales world, it's very important as well, because you are only going to focus on the message that your brain's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm right. Yeah, that's what I believe in. I'm right. And what you choose to focus on, you amplify. So
And I think you hit nail on the head there. There's a distinct definition, obviously with subconscious, unconscious. But let's go with the unconscious here, okay? Because let's just stick with the salesperson as an example. The front of house could be they're polished, they're excited, they've done a meeting, they've reported to their KPIs, their targets, this, that, and the other. Off they go with the best intentions, with the best pitch, with all the skills. Okay. But that's the conscious. Okay. The unconscious, if there's that little element of doubt there, okay, where you don't believe you're going to get it, and that's the real you, then it's that you manifest in the reality that you create, rather than everything else on the front, and no one can pick what's going wrong.
you are so right. You are completely spot on. Completely spot on. And that's why hypnosis is so powerful.
I agree with that, and I've seen it firsthand. You know, you've done it off of lived experience, so you've been through it. And there's lots of skeptics on hypnotism as well. I find a lot of the skeptics come because of the stage hypnotism.
Yeah.
You know, where and they're funny. I enjoy them. I genuinely do. I think they're comical, but once we understand what makes that a bit different, then the cynical side of it can be pushed to one side. Once and the other thing as well, I think there's people are far more accepting of meditation now rather than it being fluff. Okay, if we accept meditation and what it can do for ourselves, and whether you do it or not, but we know it as a layman's term, then we're leaning more to actually, like I now understand hypnotism because it's a step in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I said to my clients when they, you know, when we're about to begin the session. And basic for people who have meditated before, I'm telling them that is simply a tailored guided meditation. Simple as that. And they go in and they really truly enjoy the experience. And it's just beautiful. And as you said, it's a shame that people don't really know about it. They know, but there's a lot of misconception about hypnosis. However, I would say 100% of my clients, when they come after the first session, they're like, first, I want to come back. Second, I might cancel my therapy that I've been doing for 7 years, for 10 years, for 2 years, because in one session, I got more than what I've had for the past few years. Not all of them, of course, and we discuss about it, but there's so much more. There's actually a real change.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, people, when they have problems, they want to change.
It's that simple, isn't it? It's that simple. And to that point, if anybody wants change, they can read things like Atomic Habits, and they can do all these little things that we can do that are all completely valid. But it all comes down to the bottom line is whatever worked.
Yeah.
Okay. If it worked, then that's the right route for you. Okay.
Okay.
They might have similarities, they have different flavors. Could be that you just respond to someone just telling you what to do and you just do it. Whatever. You know. Because there are examples. This is the thing where some people say that hypnotism, they try hypnotism and it doesn't work, so it wasn't for them. Okay, now I've got my answer for that. What would your reply to be?
Oh, there's so much. So I've got so many things. The therapist didn't ask question, didn't create a rapport, didn't create trust with the client, read a script. But my first thing will be creating trust, and a rapport with the client is going to be the most important thing. Because if you don't trust your therapist, how can I give you suggestions that you are going to follow if you don't trust me? And unfortunately, there's so many therapists that are they're coming and they're like, yeah, okay, so I'm going to put you in hypnosis. After 5 minutes, they go into a kind of like older school way of doing it. They take their scripts, they read their scripts, and for 40% of people it works, but for 60% it doesn't work. Very direct suggestion, etc. And it's and then there's no rapport being created.
It's the rapport and credibility is very important. I find a common thing as well, and they do say not to do this on your friends and family or anybody's under the influence of alcohol, for example. And the reason for that is self-sabotage. Okay, because the moment you doubt it, or you block it, or you just don't want that outcome, or whatever it may be, then the onus could be on them. So it could be the person that disapproves of hypnotherapy, for example, is dragged along by someone on a recommendation. Go on then, I'll give it a go. It doesn't matter how much rapport you have with that person. They could be giggling at you and you get along.
100%.
They're not going to do it because they don't believe in it. They're going to prove it wrong by self-sabotaging.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So when I've got people calling me, even for their daughter's partner, I want first to have a chat with the person who wants to do therapy, and I'm not taking appointment on behalf of someone else. And also because I'm a psychotherapist as well, so I use psychotherapy in hypnosis. So I love cognitive behavioral therapy. That's mainly what I work with, and strategic psychotherapy. And so I use that in hypnosis. So the first thing we're gonna work on with my clients is change, because if they come and they don't believe they can change, unconsciously, of course, as you just said, how are they going to change? If they don't believe in it, it comes exactly as you said. Everything comes with the beliefs we have, and it starts with that. So we work on that first, and then I guide them towards change slowly.
And I think something that a lot of people don't realize with their belief and value system, if you like, is there's layers of it. So there's ones that, okay, their beliefs are forged by what they've just seen on the news, but this, which side defense about this side or that side, and that now it's a new belief. Okay. And we've got the ones where we say, actually, you know what, I like to be trustworthy, loyal. So the ones we extract, but the key ones and the ones that are really hard to shift and manipulate are the dispositional beliefs, the ones that are really deep rooted. And that's where someone doesn't actually truly know themselves, because half the time they don't know those beliefs, and they're the ones that are deep rooted, iron cast, and it's those are the ones that we need to get to for the long-term change.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an exercise I do with some clients sometimes about their values and their beliefs. And it's such a powerful exercise, because we talk about what they value the most in their life, and then they have beliefs associated with their values. And sometimes it just doesn't quite, they want to value this, but they believe something opposite. So they can't really live their value fully, because unconsciously they have a belief that doesn't get on with the value. I don't know if it's very clear, but it's and so I do something, I reprogram their mind very quickly, and they come out of this exercise and they're like, whoa, wow, that makes so much sense. And it's beautiful to because we can change. The mind is such a powerful tool, yet very malleable.
It is. If we just look at the strength of stubbornness, okay, the things where we got a hardwired closed mindset, and how that does serve us in certain situations. If we can be adamant, this is how I am, this is how I'm going to be, and this is the route I'm taking, that in itself, to reverse engineer that, it displays its strength on what you can do via the mind. Okay, so if you were to literally just tweak that a little bit, give it a slight shift in trajectory, and you're going to end up somewhere completely different. You
will, because you're going to create a new reality.
Absolutely. Okay, all right. So what else interests you outside of what you're doing here? I know your face is lit up on all these topics so far. I wouldn't mind asking you, if I may, what prompted you to do hypnotherapy?
In the past, you mean why I chose that path?
What? No, why you? Because I know you said you went through it yourself, and then it was a catalyst for change, and you've embraced it. What was the reason why you wanted to do hypnotherapy yourself?
Oh, I just met this. It's so interesting. I just met this person randomly. I was going through the same patterns over and over and over and over again. I was basically a victim of my life. Okay. I'm not gonna regurgitate over the past, but I haven't been taught some tools. So you don't know what you don't know, right? So here I am, 34 years old, doing the same stuff over and over again, relationships, work, just not happy, you know? And at some point, I realized that I was the problem. And the day I realized I was the problem, I was like, oh, wow, okay, so I need to change. And I met randomly this beautiful lady in France. When I had my first session with her, it was hypnosis, and I've never done that ever in my life. And after the session, she was like, you're going to need a few sessions. And I was like, I'm all in. And I found it had so much impact that I actually really began a thorough therapy with her. She's a person I truly love, and I was very dedicated and committed to change. And I really started to change. I took action on things that I haven't had in the past, and I learned about my emotions, make better decisions for myself, and actually being in control of my life, which I thought before I was not, because I was a victim. And once I started to change my outlook on life, then my life began to change. And yeah, and that's it. And I've always wanted to help people, absolutely love people, but didn't really know how. And after 6 months or 7 months of therapy, one day I woke up from my session and I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. And I had this fire burning and I never looked back.
Yeah, that's the fire burning, the entrepreneurial fire. That's the one. And once you've got it, it never disappears. It's a real it's a real pain in the backside, that one sometimes. All right.
Yes.
Okay, listen, that takes us pretty much to the end already. I know it's gone quickly. Now, anybody listening to this that'd like to have a conversation with you about anything that you brought up, what would be the best method for them to contact you?
They can go onto my website, newpath-hypnotherapy.com or .com.au. They can reach me out on Instagram, same name. That's it.
Okay,
Easy.
fantastic. Too easy. Well, listen, thanks again for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode. I hope that you did enjoy it, had lots of takeaways from it. As before, please subscribe below so you can keep on top of any new releases we have. And also, if you would like to have your story told, just reach out with me and I'd love to give you that platform. My best email address is tom@purplepatchconsulting.com. Thank you.